All right, I'm going to jump in here and talk a little bit about some assumptions that people make about time and also those ankle biters, those things that slow you down. I know what you guys are all up against. I've been out there too and coaching agents and working out there. And in my own life, right? So there's some assumptions that people make, and the reality is none of these are true. You hear that, being busy is the best way to get it done. That's really not the case. And if you apply some of these things, that starts to be quite obvious. Time problems can be solved by working harder. The reality is that really what it is, or is that a way to be busy and just work harder to avoid actually doing some of those things you need, like actually making those calls for the appointments, sticking to your schedule? Finding problems is easy, solutions are hard. Well, we figured out actually having the solutions make things easy. Did you take the time to have a checklist and then actually build those checklists over time so you can just refer to that? Make it easier to have an assistant do the work because they can start working from your checklist. You can assign tasks from there. No one ever has enough time. My experience has been in this business that the top agents are spending the most time with their kids, taking the longest vacations, enjoying their time away from the business. When they're working, they focus, and when they're not working, they spend that time focused on family and or leisure. And it becomes really, they have, some of the other assumptions, right? Because you can't plan day-to-day activities, they actually do have a plan and work the plan. Efficient managers are the most effective. Honestly, guys, sometimes effective is the exact opposite of efficient. Working too hard, too fast will just make you crazy. It's really buckling in and getting it done, spending the time to get those appointments, the things that are going to make you effective to move the needle. Reduce time necessary to take tasks. Some things just do take time to have to get them done. Chunk them down, make them smaller. Dennis will talk about that. Can't schedule because of purchasers. Dennis actually hit into this. It's just having good time management skills, right? I know, and not saying when did you want to see it, but I'm available at the following times. If you break your schedule down, you're going to put in your schedule opportunities to show houses. So you're going to suggest those times. Now I know when it's very, very busy, we had that super, super hot market. I understand that. But not schedule over those other activities. Maybe it's just rearranging your schedule, flipping when you're going to show that house, and then making sure those other things are flipped into that time to get done. I'm just not good at time management. That's the thing I think this class is all about. The reality is time management isn't something that you are, it's something that you do. And anyone can learn to be good at it. Phone or text, the top time absorbers, phone and texting interruptions. Guys, schedule this. Don't always have that dinging, as Dennis has said. Meetings, honestly, for most businesses, most industries, most corporations, they really take a majority of people's time up. And the question is, first off, is the meeting necessary? If you do have one, do you have an agenda? Is there an agenda of what you want to accomplish? Does the other person understand the agenda? Have a time limit set on the meeting. It's amazing if you have an hour scheduled, and when you're done. If you have an hour scheduled, it'll be done in less than an hour. If you have 2 hour schedules, slip out to 2. But the reality is if you can get it done in 45 minutes, end the meeting, be done, and move to the next thing. Have a pre-meeting. And I think that's probably one of the most important things when that agenda is set out. What is it you're trying to accomplish, and do that. Crisis cases, right? Oh, I have a crisis. The reality is if it's a real crisis, kick it upstairs fast. If you're always having a crisis, maybe you're not using checklists or trained well enough to know how to avoid those things. But if it's a real crisis, get your manager involved, right? Don't let it dwell on you. Get someone involved for true crisis. Ineffective delegation, guys. You have to have a great checklist. It starts becoming easy to delegate the information, and then you have to trust that other person. Procrastination. Procrastination really becomes a real issue for a lot of people. But I think part of it is, we're going to do a little bit longer class on this, but just a hint in this. And procrastination, the easiest way is just discipline yourself to get it done. Schedule what happens and discipline yourself to do it. So guys, sometimes you just need to move forward. Also, what is it that's making you procrastinate? Most of the time, guys, it's fear. What are you afraid of? And most of the times, if you've ever struggled with this, the thing you're afraid of never happens. The other thing I'll just give you quick with procrastination, just get it done. If it's something that's, you have to get it done, maybe have a tough conversation with someone, don't wait till the end of the day. Schedule it sooner, get it done. Otherwise, it's just going to grind on you waiting for it to happen. And typically, it's really much easier than you would guess. Just work through your procrastination. Other top time absorbers, listening to others. Guys, sometimes it's just not the right time, right? I'm not saying be unavailable, but maybe you schedule that for a later activity. Lack of organization, planning, taking the time, if you truly work your schedule, time block, you just have to spend the time to do it, and you'll see how that can change when you do. Unable to say no, learn to say no gracefully. It was taught to me a long time ago by a friend. If someone asks you to do something, serve on the committee, etc., my answer was, oh my gosh, that's such a compliment for you asking me to do that. But my current situation is I just couldn't give the time necessary for that. But please feel free to invite me to the event. I think it's a wonderful organization. I'd love to help sometime in the future. Keep me in mind. But it's not fair to you for me to agree to do this when I need to give that full attention to it. Guys, the reality is, for real estate agents that can get things done, they will go the path of least resistance and ask someone to get it done. So you have to learn how to do that if you're someone that gets things done, right? Attempting to do too much with limited time. Guys, really, when you think about that, that is an honest conversation you should have with yourself, right? An honest conversation you have just, do I have the time to get this done? Schedule the activities you want to get done. You'll be shocked on how well it can go.